Dorothy with Dot Scrapbooking back again, and this is project 2 of Sweet Memories. So I went ahead and did all the cutting. We're using this exclusive paper background that has a very slight texture to the background, so nothing that stands out enough to interfere with the other patterns of the paper. So we put the 3-inch border with the zip strip on the left-hand side there. And we're using this real pretty green, sage green background with little bitty dots on it to be the background for photos. And then we've got the mulberry specifically for the photos. The charcoal strip is just to kind of highlight the nice green background. So I'm just doing a quick dry fit just to see that I've got all the pieces where they need to be and which one goes where. So, this is where when you're doing your cutting, it's always a smart idea to make a little note on the back side of your cut paper which layout it goes with. So you can, put down for the left page or the right page and which number it is. So then when you're looking at the instructions, you can say, okay, that's the letter D, and that's the one that goes on that side. So that's what I'm doing here because I didn't mark the back of I'm always afraid I'm going to mark it so hard that it'll show through the other side in like a dent type thing. So I'm just making sure that I've got all the pieces in their appropriate side. So now I want to kind of sort some of the die cuts that are going to go down. Well, I guess I'm going to put this down first. So this is super easy to just put a 3-inch strip down and then, but your zip strip right up next to, kind of hide the raw edge and add a little bit of spark to the edge there. So I am just going to use my T-square here, which I just love. That's one of our close to my heart tools. And it's going to go over like 1 3/4 inches from the left edge and like 1.5 or so down. So there's the back side of that pretty sage paper. Now, you aren't locked in. If you have pictures that go particularly well with that periwinkle, then use that side. This is your kit, so you can do it the way you want to. So I'm just using my T-square again and going over like 1/2 inch from the left and 1/2 inch down from the top. And then this one gets about 1/4 inch eyeballing from the first photo. So we have, now this is kind of cool. We're putting a little, I forget what those little things are called where you can snap the picture and they go around in a circle. So I am taking it, they say to cut it in half. So you're putting the 2 pieces together and then you're going to cut them in half to use them as a little highlighting embellishment over the photos. And then the other one will go on the other side. So we've got a little rose here, and that is also going to get cut in half. Half goes on one side, half goes, it would have been easier to put that in the center and then cut all 3 of the pieces in half rather than fussing with a little bitty sticker there. But we can fuss, right? So there we are. We've got that piece set for the second page. Now these are the die cuts that I was referring to on the project 1 that I just they were kind of out of sight, out of mind. And this is the hearts. Those are the hearts that I should have been using over on the Project One. And, you know, I will exchange those at some point. It probably doesn't make much difference, but is that not a gorgeous flourish? So pretty. And you can use these on either side because both sides are exactly the same. And we have two of those flourishes, and we've got a gorgeous key on there. And look at those beautiful flowers. So, I mean, just really beautiful die cuts, and they're very sturdy. They're thicker than cardstock, and I can never remember the word they're called, but they're called something different than cardstock. It might come to me, but I can never remember that word right off the bat. So we've got something slipped up in there. Anyway, now we've got this, I popped out one of the flowers. Is that not beautiful? And we are using this title, A Day to Remember. These, I have to say that these stickers and die cuts make putting these kits together just so simple. And I am using my anti-static pouch on the back of this. And I'm going to pop it up with some foam. So you can put it flat if you want. That's totally up to you. I always like to add a little bit of dimension to my stuff. So I think that that round circle to the left there, that may have been another one that should have been cut in half. I put Tombow on this, but you know there's kind of a webbing that takes place with Tombow. So I would suggest you use your liquid glue, Tombow or whatever kind of liquid glue you have, so you don't have to fuss with that webbing that happens in the little open areas. Look at how pretty. And then we have an open heart here. That's one of the die cuts. And that is just going to get set right on top of there. So, and here's a leaflet that is going to kind of hide the bottom of the flourish. And then we've got our open flower, and I'm kind of using my pick to go through and get rid of those webbings that are in there, and I'm just tucking that right under. So we have, let's see what's next. We're going to add a little blush to that flower from the Victorian Oxide, the Victorian Velvet Oxide, which, by the way, that is only available right now. When the new catalog comes in March, it probably won't be available, so it's while supplies last. We're only carrying the distressed oxides and some of the embellishment tools to while the kit is in progress. Whoops, and then we've got some powder that can be wiped off very easily. And that was one of the arrows that went on Project 1, and I realized it was not supposed to be there. It was supposed to be on Project 2, so there we go. We have lots of little stuff here. So we've got a pretty good cluster going down there. Now, if you want to add other embellishments to this, like little sparkles, that would be really pretty. I'm going to set that to the side and then add my large piece of background paper to the base page. Along with the zip strip. So the two pages coordinate, but they're not the same. Going through my roll-on adhesive. So easy to change out. There we go. And that is going to Same as the other side, we're putting the charcoal like 1.5 or 1 3/4 inches over, 1.5 and 1.5 down, and then the sage goes right up next to, right abutted to the charcoal. So this is a really pretty journaling. Isn't that pretty? That's a really pretty journaling spot. And we're going to use, this is gorgeous. This is really, you know, so beautiful. So many of the pieces are so beautiful. I think I ended up putting the adhesive on the wrong side of this. I wanted to be it on the other side, but you know, what can you do? Either way, it's so pretty. Yeah, that's when I realized I put it on the wrong side. So, so pretty. And look at that heart. Is that not just gorgeous? Oh my goodness. I tell you. I covered up too much of that heart. I should have scooted it under the journaling. And I'm just adding a little bit of pink, and I want to add a little pink onto that journaling thing just to highlight it a little bit. And I'm adding a little bit of pink highlight to the corners. So I do like that highlighting technique. It's like ridiculously easy to do, and it's just adds a little warmth and just a little bit of a highlight. But it's just kind of neat to do. Every day is a gift. And I'm adding a little bit of glue onto the back because it's not quite sticking enough. You know, if I put my cap on my glue, it wouldn't get all caught up in the in the spout. So we've got some more pieces that are going on to these clusters those are, you know, a point of interest for your layout. And, you know, it adds beauty and it adds some detail, but not so distracting. So you kind of want to have it go kind of with your pictures, you know, not interfere with the pictures, but just add some enhancement to them. Here's another open heart that we're putting up towards the top there. And the heart that probably popped out from the inside of it. And that's going to go there. See, even that looks so pretty. Here's the piece that I created for the other side, and I need to kind of tuck that under. It's a little tall. So I'm just gonna tuck it under a little bit. There we go. And then you've got your right page and your left page coordinating, you know, without it being, see, this is where I think that I used the wrong flower on probably the layout one. And so I'm trying to make this sticker kind of do what I want it to do, but it's not really working the way I wanted it to. So I'm having to tuck it way under to hide the cut parts. There we go. Just a little bit of something. So it just kind of shows you that you can take one of the pieces and cut them up and still use them to effect. And then we've got some leaves going here. And remember this. Well, that's why we're making scrapbook pages, so we don't have to remember everything, and we can go to our scrapbook pages and say, oh yeah, now I remember that. So thank goodness for this. There's so many things that that as you go through life, you can't remember everything. I mean, you just can't. And you know, this is to help us remember. And it's also for, you know, when it's a great tool for somebody who's getting dementia, for them to use it. You know, you can use it as a means of discussing the old days with your grandparents, you know, for your grandchildren and your parents. I mean, it's a story. It's your own storybook. So, I mean, that is so neat that you can have. It's a little go-by, you know, a little memory jogger, as it were. You know, just to kind of jog the memories that this is what we were doing, and this is what we looked like then, and look at your mother now, and that's what she looked like when she was a little girl. I mean, these are, you know, great things that you can talk to your grandchildren about, or your great-grandchildren. So here's some more hearts. And see, that heart was supposed to be on another page, but that's okay. I mean, I'll make those exchanges in a bit. It just totally got by me. So we have another heart that goes up over on that big flourish. Daisy is keeping me close company. She's reminding me that I need to pet her every second. So she needs her teeth cleaned. I need to take her to the vet to get her teeth cleaned. There we go. Okay, so there's that heart in that place. And I used a different title than they used. I wanted a day to remember because of the pictures that I was using. But like I said, these are up to you. These are your pictures, so you make them the way you want to. Now, these are from the one family reunion. So there's my parents and my brother and sister and I. And then these are their children, so my parents' grandchildren at the time. There's more than that now. And of course, my parents are no longer with us. So thank goodness for pictures. And there's my grandmother, and those grandchildren, that's their great-grandmother. And so it's really neat. And I love how this picture just goes so nicely with the colors in this page. So just super, super nice. Now here's some more pictures of the that same family reunion. So that's Mom directing. This is, you know, how she wants the pictures taken. And, you know, it's the moms that do that, isn't it? They're always kind of saying, okay, this is what we need to do. It really was up to her. She was always very, very good about getting photos taken. So that's why we have some really nice photos of my parents, because she was the one who was saying, come on, we're going to go get our picture taken this year. So there's everybody. And there I am. I was alone at this reunion at the time, and that is my parents' house in North Carolina. So here's my layout for number 2. Now these are sort of vintage photos, not really ancient photos, but for young people they're vintage. So I suggest you find a resting place for your pictures. So thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You can find a resting place for your pictures too. Bye now.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Smith. Thanks for watching my video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel and learn along with me. Thanks. Bye-bye.